I've got a few of these, and I find them they're really great for especially the initial work, that sort of, thinking where you're trying not to be too precious about what you're doing. And also for detail, I really love doing that kind of lyrical painting, the lyrical line with this, and on the surface work, which it's just to take off all that intensity of process. So this is really nice to lose control a bit with, because you don't have as much control the longer your hand is, the longer your arm is. The weight's really nice. The weight's important in your brushes. People don't often get told that about brushes, about how weight is important. Yeah. So the way your brush is made and the way it's weighted is very important. And
even the small ones?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these little ones too, all your brushes need to be comfortable to you. So brushes are all rounded on the ends for a reason. You hold them there and you turn your brush, and that's why they're round handled. So all your brushes, all of them, see? No matter how long, how short they are. And the weight is here. So the weight is in that body of the brush just before you get to the end. It's usually not halfway, but maybe 2/3 for that last third. And that's for that. So you're designed to move your brush around in your hand so you can get that side of the brush, but also when you turn it, you get the edge of the brush. And the weight is designed to allow you to move it up and down and around. So you're always moving your brush. If you're handling your brush properly, you're turning it and you're moving your hand up and down the brush all the time, so that you're getting as many marks as possible that the brush is designed to make. And each brush is designed to make a different mark. Obviously the square brushes are designed to leave a square mark and to be cutting brushes. And the filbert brushes, the crescent moon with the sort of feathering layers, I call them the mullet brush because they're like a mullet haircut. But they're designed to dovetail. All the brush marks are designed to dovetail into each other, and they're blending brushes, so they're not designed to leave a mark like the square cut brushes. And then the round brushes are designed to hold the body of paint. So if you have a decent round brush, something like that, for example, and you load that with a lot of paint, that will hold more paint than that brush, because the ferrule is round and it draws the paint into it. So whereas this ferrule is squashed and flat, so it pushes the paint away from it. So all brushes are designed, this is all brush handling.
Would you use a lot of different brushes in one work usually?
Oh, absolutely. You have to, because it's, so a brush is a musical instrument, and every brush makes a mark. And when you look at a painting, you should be able to hear it. So each brush, if you can imagine, if you're working like that, which I find a lot of my students spend the whole time, they usually hold their brush here because they feel like they're in control more, and they'll do that. Yeah. So what noise would that make? It'd be and then it's and it's just like, okay, enough. So if you've got a range of brushes and each brush is making different noises, and the more you turn it and move it and change where your hand is and the weight and the marks, you get an orchestra. You get musical instruments. So you get it's a bit embarrassing, but anyway. But it's a lyrical method, and it's a language, and so you're creating variations in tone and musicality and sound. So when you look at a painting and you look at the brush handling and you look at the direction that the light is hitting the paint, oil paint in particular, but also if you're using a medium with acrylics as well, you can see the way the painting's been made. You can see the direction of the paint, whether it's a big long movement or tiny little marks, but then there's the tiny, if you take a tiny little brush and you just have a little trill, or a little tiny light-handed thing that just runs itself across the surface, it makes a totally different sound. And the light picks it up in a different way. So when you're looking at the old masters, for example, and the way the Renaissance artists use their brushes to catch the light in different directions and allow the rhythms and movements to constantly change with the different viewing. it just leaves such a rich legacy that lasts, you know, it would engage you for a lifetime of looking. It doesn't just stop on one viewing because it's all on the surface and it's all painted the same way. So brushes are very important.
So true.